Great day, great day, great day. I'm Coach Kevin Gibbs, your mental performance specialist with Born Winner Basketball and Shooter for Greatness Academy. And today we're going to talk about something that's real special to me. I'm going to tell you a little story. But today we're going to talk about how three keys to go from a role player to a star player. Because I know everybody want to be a star player, right? I'm going to show you how everyone can be a star player, right? But I'm going to show you the process that you got to go through to go from a role player, a fast cut, to go from a role player to a star player, right? Three keys, right? So I learned this from Jay Bilas. I don't know if y'all know who Jay Bilas is, but he's an analyst on ESPN. He came out of school, and he I learned a great deal from him in that lecture that he did, right? And this is what I'm gonna tell you that he taught me, right? So Jay Bilas was the number 2 player in the country, right? Not in the state, in the whole country. He was a number 2, excuse me, he was a number 2 ranked player in the whole country, right? And so Coach Krzyzewski and his staff, they flew out there to California. I think he's from California, and they went out there to recruit him, right? They sat in his living room basically, and they told him that they got some players on their team, right? I think they had Johnny Dawkins and some other players, right? But basically that he wasn't going to go there and be a star player, right? And so he said that you would have to take a role, in other words, right? And he was being recruited by every school in the whole nation, right? And so he had his choice. He can go anywhere he wanted to go, but he chose Duke, right? He chose Duke, and he told us why he chose Duke, right? And he said he wanted to win, right? And so I think they won like 1 or 2 national championships, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think it was 2 national championships, right, during his 4-year career, and he's still around the game of basketball, right? But let me tell you the 3 things that he told us that was so important, and how you could go 3 keys that you could go from being a role player to being a star player, right? And he says there's 3 things you got to know. Number 1 is know your role, right? Say know your role, right? I believe in the power of words. So, saying is going to magnify it, right? Know my role. So once you know your role, you have knowledge, right? Know your role. Everyone has a role, right? Even in the NBA, you look at what? Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, all these people have a role, right? One person's role is different than another's, right? Everybody wants to be the star player, but that might not be your role, right? Or you might not be ready for that role, right? Or you might not know everything that role entails. Even your coach has a role, right? Even your athletic trainers have a role. Everybody, even the water boy, have a role. Your family has a role. Your environment has a role. Everything has a role, right? But you have to know your role. What is your role, right? What's the role that you playing in life and basketball, right? Know your role, right? For coaches, let your players know what their role is, right? Right? Know your role, right? Once you have the knowledge of your role, then you get to number 2. If you never get the knowledge of your role, you can't never go on to the 3rd step, right? Or the 3rd key, right? And so number 2 is accept your role. Know your role, accept your role, right? For example, we don't want you to score, right? I had one of my teammates in college. Coach told him he came in averaging about 25 points a game coming out of high school, and the college coach told him that you'll probably never score a point for our team. He gave him his role. Now it was up to him to say, I accept it or I don't accept it, right? It's your choice to accept it or to reject it, right? But that coach gave him the knowledge. He gave him what he's supposed to do, right? That's your role. You probably never score a point, but this is how I could use you, right? You could accept that. Acceptance is extremely important. That's the main, I think that's why it's in the middle, because that's the glue that holds it all together, right? A lot of people know their role, but they don't accept it, right? But if you learn to accept your role, then you'll get to the third key, right? And the third key is starring in your role. Know your role, accept your role, and star in your role. Come on. Know your role, accept your role, and star in your role. Say that 3 times. Know your role, accept your role, and star in your role. Right? Once you accept your role, then you could become a star in your role. Right? Let's go back to the Golden State Warriors because he's got the best team, right, of the year. Plus, they just won the NBA championship, right? Everybody on that team had a role. And they set out to say, this is our ultimate goal, is to win the championship, to get back our throne that we lost, right? So everyone had a role. It was up to Steve Kerr and the Golden State organization to give everybody their role, right? They knew Steph was going to be the main scorer. He's going to have to lead the way, right? They was waiting for Clay to get back. They know what he could produce, right? They know he's a consummate pro. He's going to come in and play his role and shoot, be one of the greatest shooters, right? Draymond's role was to be the leader, right? The enforcer, to make sure that he clean up everybody's mess, make sure he getting rebounds, assists, keeping everybody in tune, not letting nobody punk him. Then they had Jordan Poole. He's supposed to come in and add an extra spark, right? Kaminga. They had everybody that they had supposed to get. Looney, right? Everyone had their role, right? Looney played a major role when he needed to, when they needed his size and his presence, his rebounding. Right? I point all that out to say that everyone had a role, right? And one person's role is not greater than the next role. Iguodala's role was to be there and provide extra leadership, right? And mentorship, right? And so now, if everyone accepts their roles and say, all right, this is my role. My role might be never shoot the ball. It's just to go out there and lock up everyone. Like Gary Payton Jr., right? He got rewarded later. So my goal is to go up there and lock everyone up. I'm probably never take a shot, right? But this is what's going to be needed for us to win a championship. I have to accept that, right? I have to put my feelings and personal pride aside and accept that, right? And when I accept that, then I have the ability, I put myself in a position to star in my role, right? So there you go. Know your role, accept your role, and star in your role. That's the fastest key. The second, if you don't know your role, go ask what's your role. Right? Or sit there and figure out your role. Ask what's your role. If once your coach tells you what's your role, accept it. You don't gotta like it. Accept it. You're never gonna score, all right? So what else can I do? I'm gonna go out there and get every rebound. I'm locking and no one's scoring on me. I'm running hard every time. I'm gonna put myself in position to get the points, right? And that's what stars do. They shine no matter what. And everybody is a star in their own role. Once you accept the fact, I'm not a 50-point game scorer, but what else can I do? Right? I'm only 5'2". I probably can't get a lot of rebounds, get a lot of block shots, but I'm gonna get a whole lot of steals, assists. I'm gonna be the fastest man out there. I'm gonna be a pest. So think about it. It's something for the mindset, right? Because, we believe that basketball is 90% mindset, 10% skill set, right? So there you go. Those are the 3 keys that you need to elevate yourself from a role player, which everyone is, that we just learned about, into a star player. So the last time, know your role, accept your role, and star in your role, right? Once again, I'm Coach Kevin Gibbs with Born Winner Basketball, Shooting for Greatness Academy. If you like anything in this video, please like, share, subscribe. If you found it enlightening, educational, in any way, shape, form, or fashion.